Hi there, myself Madhav Jha. I welcome you to CodeChef and let's have a look at this question.
The problem is GCD arrays. The problem difficulty is easy and there are no prerequisites. Let's have a read at the problem. An array of length n is called good if it satisfies the following condition. That is, the GCD of complete array is equal to 1. But GCD of any subarray is not equal to 1. That is, it would be greater than 1. If an array satisfies this condition, it will be called good. Now, given an integer n and m, we need to count the number of arrays of size n that has all the elements in range 1 to m and that are good. Since the answer could be large, we'll give it with a modulus of this number. So for the input format, we have t test cases, and for each test case on a single line we have two integers n and m, and for the output, we need to output the total number of good arrays that we can get. For the constraints, test cases will go from 1 to 50, length of the array will go from 3 to 2 into 10 raised to 5, and value of m will go from 3 to 100. Let's see how we can approach the solution. So the condition for an array to be good is something like this. That GCD of the complete array is equal to 1, that is the first condition, but GCD of any subarray, right, is not equal to 1. Same as saying that it is greater than 1. What this means is that the GCD of array from 1 to n minus 1 as well as the subarray 2 to n also has to be greater than 1. So with this, what we can deduce is that the common array that we have here from 2 to n minus 1 must have the GCD greater than 1, right? So if we can, let's assume that this GCD is just G and it has to be greater than 1. Then the first element that we have, that is GCD of A1 comma G, has to be greater than 1. Additionally, GCD of the last number, that is A of n and G, has to be greater than equal to 1, but GCD of all three has to be equal to exactly 1. So A1, An and G has to be equal to 1. So if we can just abstract these details and find such condition, we'll get to know whether an array is good or not. But how do we get this G? So let's assume that we just decide a number, right? Let's take this number G as anything that we want, right? Now, what are the different values that can make up this array, right? It has to be between 1 and m, right? All the values have to be between them. And what are the different count of elements that we have here? So the count of element is n minus 2. So this is the permutation of numbers that we can fill here. But with this, we also need to find out how many elements will give us the GCD of G, right? So they have to be multiple of G. It means that we have m divided by G numbers that are multiple of G, right? So this is the count that we can fill all these numbers with. But this will also have some multiples of G. So what we can do is, we'll have our array dp of G that will have the total count or the total number of ways or the segment that can have the value of G. So what we are trying to find is, we're trying to find this segment, the number of segments 2 comma n minus 1, that will give us a GCD of G. So that will be nothing but m divided by G. But if there can be multiples here, like we can have multiples of, let's say, 2G here, 3G here, right? So we'll subtract all of them. So all in all, dp of G will give us the total count of such subarray that has a value of G. Now since the m here is pretty small, it is only from 0 to 100, we can simply loop through and brute force the value of A1 and An with all the values of G. Again, G value will also go from 1 to m, right? So what we do is we first pre-count the value of dp of G, then we brute force the values of A1 and An. And any trio that satisfies this condition will add it up to our answer, that these are the number of arrays that are good. And with this, we'll get our solution. Let's see how we can implement the solution in C++. So for each test case, we call the function solve. In solve, we take the input of n and m, and then we calculate the value of our dp of G. So we know that the initial value will be nothing but whatever value we have, that is m divided by I, in this case m divided by g. These are the number of terms that we can fill with. Now, the number of terms that we can fill with, they have to be filled with n minus 2 spots. So this is nothing but x raised to y condition. But we also have a mod value. So what we have done is we have written a custom function that will calculate this exponential of a raised to b. Now once we have this value, we also need to subtract its multiples. For that reason, here we have calculated dp of I. So we need to remove the multiples such as 2 into I, 3 into I, or so on. So we do that and we store the modulus of this value. So this dp of I is going to give us the number of segments that will have the value of GCD I. Right. Now next up what we do is, once we have this g value as we have seen in the approach, we'll brute force the value of an and a1 and an, that is the first and last element. And if they satisfy the condition, that is the first element and the array GCD is greater than 1, and the same goes for the middle element and the last element, that is also greater than 1, but GCD of all three is equal to 1, then we add up all these arrays into our answer. And finally, at the end we have count of arrays that are good. And as you can see, I have AC in C++ implementation. Let's see how we can implement this in Python. Again, for each test case, we call the function solve, take input of n and m, pre-compute our dp values, and then brute force our way to find the total count of arrays that are good. And as you can see, I have AC in Python implementation as well. So I hope you understood the problem, the approach, and how we can implement the solution in both C++ and Python. Have a very good day, and I'll see you in the next video.